I'm live. I hope people come hang out. Ooh, my hair is a mess. Holy crap. Jeez, that's so much hair. I'll give people a chance to come hang out. In the meanwhile, I'll just talk to myself. Hi, Jenna. Your eyes look really blue tonight, Jenna.
Just got a notification I'm here for the hangout.
No one showed. You're the first person to show up. No one's here yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ray's here too. Oh wait, I guess you got to be online to do this. Never mind. Okay, we'll go back in.
You can just hang out. Hey, John, what's up? That was funny. My brother just walked back here and said, I just got a notification. I'm here to hang out. I think my brother would be great fun on a live stream. He's almost as charming as I am. So what's new, John? How's your week been? Ooh. Yeah, I'm hoping that hoping some more people will come hang out. I didn't. Oh God, what happened? That sucks. Hey sis, I'm so glad you could come hang out. It's been a typical week of work and self-hatred, you know, the usual. Depression, the usual stuff, you know. Good times, good times. What's up, Montana? How have you been, baby? How's Sebastian? Alright. I have to tweet out that I'm live, just in case people didn't know. Cinnamon. So, I've been trying to think of stuff we could do on live streams, like games or something. I don't know, just something entertaining. What would be fun? Busy Saturday. Take it out on your students. Yeah, I wish I was athletic and like taught something physical so that I could do that. Instead, I just eat my feelings, and there ain't enough Starburst jelly beans in the world. A heathen. Oh, nice. Shopping with grandma is always fun. My grandmother on my mom's side is actually where I got my love of makeup from. So yes, hanging out with grandmas is always fun. Live stream hangs happening now. She spoiled us. Well, good. You deserve to be spoiled. I'm glad. Y'all don't get spoiled very often. Y'all are very humble. So getting spoiled every once in a while is a good thing. Everyone deserves to be treated. You know? That's a good thing. The organization goes. And I'm like, it reminds you of Johnny Gargano. Is he hurt? I'm so out of the loop with NXT, I swear. And one of my dearest friends is like an NXT specialist on YouTube. Like he does, well, you know, R. Felix Finch. He covers the NXT report, and I'm so out of the loop on NXT. And I have the network. And I'm nocturnal. I need to start watching NXT at night. I see the Boob Job twins have finally made it to the main roster. You have a direct report from NXT. That's awesome. Oh, good. That's awesome. Yes. It's one thing to like treat yourself to stuff that you don't necessarily need, but you just really want it. But when it's stuff that you like it, but it will definitely be used because it's needed, that's that's even better. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. Somehow I got a tweet on Twitter in my feed about NASCAR. I don't know why NASCAR stuff is in my feed, but someone actually said about NASCAR, this sport used to be so great. Like, it's left-hand turns. Is it a sport? Oh, that's awesome. John, I didn't know that. To live in an area that actually has a connection to the real world. I swear, like, living here in Mobile, it's like, sometimes it just feels like you're watching the rest of the world live because we're so cut off from everything. Sometimes it really does feel like you're watching everyone else live. Like, there's things you'd like to do, but we don't really have such and such here. Or I'd love to do such and such a thing, but we can't do that here. Driving with style. Oh, like in Toy Story, you're not flying, you're falling with style. Toy Story again. And I haven't gotten caught up. Super cute pants. Awesome. Man, oh, that's always a good thing. I'm the same way. You know, when I was your age, I was like social butterfly, always out and about. And now, just the thought of leaving my house gives me anxiety. Like, I hate it. So, yes, I'm proud of you too. I'm so glad. New clothes are always good, and I understand what you mean about when they fit. Or t-shirts and Adidas pants. Like, that's my wardrobe. I keep it simple. I hate my body and right as possible. Thank you very much. Total opposite of how I was when I was younger. Just got a DM from somebody who says, okay, we're not Cubs. Hope your day is going well. Make sure you're following Drunk Rizzo. Yeah, I've never been like a big clothes person either. Like, I don't, I've never jumped on buying clothes that were like super in the moment trendy, because as soon as they go out, you can't wear them anymore. And it just seems so incredibly wasteful. Like the little cold shoulder tops all the girls are wearing where the shoulder is cut out. Like, for starters, I think it looks ugly. And you can only wear it for a few months and then it's not going to be cool to wear it anymore. I don't know. It just, I've never been much for like trends. I pretty much dress the same way now that I did in the 90s. Usually I have a t-shirt that says something silly, like this with my sloth on it. And I'm literally wearing Adidas pants right now. And if I had to leave the house, like if I absolutely had to, I would just wear this and put on like some Vans and go. Alright, I don't like this setup. There. Better. Alright, where'd my... There we go. First time in almost 2 years. Oh, God, that's awesome, Montana. Well, dude, you're beautiful. You're absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I mean, they look cute on some people, and your sister probably looks cute in it. I don't know. I've always felt like when I buy clothes like that are just like super, super trendy, I always feel like I look like I'm playing dress up. I don't know if that makes sense. But yes, you're beautiful, Montana, and it makes me happy to hear that you had such a good experience trying on clothes and you got stuff you needed. I know all too well how that feels. And I'm glad you had a good day. You deserve it. You've been going through it lately, so I'm glad that you've had a good day. You deserve it. That's a turn off. What's a turn off? Playing dress up? Okay, I'm such a nerd for cheesy humor. Yeah, Darren, who is Tiger Dar in these, uh, I want that on a t-shirt. I wish I could tweet it to Shane Dawson. Like, every time I see something with a pig on it, I doubt he ever even sees it, you know? I want to tweet this. No, I don't want to report it. So I've been thinking about, okay, so I had an idea for another either video or Instagram thing. Like, I was looking at like Tana Mongeau and Bella Thorne, you know, all those like real thoughty type chicks. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if I like copied their Instagram feed for like a week? Like, if I just did all of their poses and recreated all of their pictures. But like me. Or, I don't know. I've had a few ideas. God, what was... See, there was something I had just thought of, and I was like, that'd be a great idea for a video, and I've already forgotten what it was. I try to jot down ideas in the memo on my phone so I don't forget. Walk 3.5 miles. About you being normal? Thanks, Dad. Keep doing it. I've been doing tummy crunches every single night for like a month now. So, and my brother's been really encouraging about that. One night, like, I'll do just like standard crunches, and then like I'll try to do like a couple hundred. And then the next night, I'll do the ones where like I cross my legs and hold my legs up and do crunches into that. Do like a couple hundred. I try to do 150 to 200 every night. Dude, that's awesome. Roll with it. Roll with it. I don't know if you write, but something that I've always done, if you don't keep a journal, I understand if you don't, but when you're happy, okay, right now is the ideal time to do this. Get yourself a journal and make little sections in it. One section is things and just lists, things that make me happy no matter what. And for me, it's stuff like how a kitten sounds when it meows. When it's absolutely beautiful outside and you first step outside and you're aware of it and it's just beautiful and you get that feeling. Things that just make you happy no matter what. Jot those down and make a list of it. You'd be amazed how when you're feeling down, you can read through those and it will lift your spirits. It's amazing. Awesome. Oh, cool. And you have like privacy to exercise. And that's one thing, I don't ever want to go to a gym because I don't want anyone to see me exercise. Like, I want to do it by myself. Awesome. Outlets. Like, I think my brother's noticed it, but he hasn't said anything because my mental state is so finicky. But since I've started doing this, like, I think even he can see how much it has opened up my creativity and that's when I'm happiest, is when I'm being creative and I'm creating. And I think he sees that. So, release anxiety. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, seriously, sis, like I have a little notebook where I do it. Things that always make me happy, things that always make me smile. Um, I even have like a little list of just like gifs and memes that make me laugh no matter how many times I see it. Like there's this one video of, it's a guy and he's talking to his dog. And you know how dogs, their mouths move or whatever. Well, the guy went back and recorded so that it sounded like his dog was responding to him. And the whole time he's talking to his dog and he's like, so yeah, I opened the fridge and then there was bacon. And the dog's mouth moves and he recorded himself going, yeah, yeah. And the whole time he makes it look like he's having this conversation with his dog. And he tells his dog all about all this delicious food. And the dog's like, yeah, yeah. And he's like, and I gave it to the cat. And the dog yawns. And it looks like he's going, ah, no. Every time I see that video, I absolutely lose it. I wish I had that saved to my Instagram, because I swear, let me see. I might. It's a classic. And then there's another one. It's longer, but it's a little pug named Lola, and there's a song, and she can't run, and the whole song is, my name is Lola, da 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 da. The one thing that I cannot do is I can't fucking run. And it's like her and her dog siblings and how she can't run and all that. I watch it every time I see it. But it's just stuff like that that will make you smile every time you see it. It's good to save those. Oh, dude, see, that's great. Yes, pugs are great. Boston Terriers are number one, but pugs are great. But yeah, like, I love it. I have a whole bunch of stuff saved. But that video with the guy and his dog, it's so great. I wish that I had saved it. Have y'all seen the video? It's a girl. It's been viral this week. A girl who, I don't know if she was in an accident or she had some kind of disorder, but she was wheelchair bound. And she surprised her prom date by, when he opened the door, she took her first few steps toward him. Like, that's awesome. Oh, I'd love to find the footage of, God, like, this is like on Instagram, like my saved collection of memes that make me smile, and some makeup inspo, of course. But like a dog eating cheese. That's good stuff. Or a good boop. If you need to boop a nose, boop. Yeah, I'm not crying, you are. And I saved a collection of animal sneezes because they're always funny. Oh, almost midnight. Right. Set your room up as you go. Are any of y'all fans of the show The Office? I know it's my number 2 favorite show of all time. Scrubs is my number 1. There's this guy on Instagram who calls himself Napkin Killer, but he does like legitimate like artwork on like cocktail napkins, like the little square napkins you get at bars and stuff. But like, there's Michael Scott. Well, let's see if I can. Come on. Scroll. Because they're all so good. There we go. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. PB&J. And she has the teapot. Oh, Andy. Rid-it-dit-do. And then accounting. But yeah, the guy's artwork is just amazing. Like, he's so talented. Oh, the caprese salad. I've also saved workout stuff, but I never do it. So there's that. Hiccups. I watch this. Everybody looking? Everybody looking? Razzle dazzle, bitches. Razzle dazzle. When you gotta give them the old razzle dazzle. I wish I could find the little dog and his dad. That's just a classic. I'm just gonna put a totally... Guy talks to dog about meat. That's what he's talking about. Come on. Yes! A fish tank. Really? Huh. See, I've got a dog and I've got a cat. And one or both of them would undoubtedly destroy it. Yes, the ultimate dog tease. This is the best video ever. I'm showing y'all videos on my phone. But yes, it's called Ultimate Dog Tease. Oh, I don't want to hear. No, I don't want to see.
You know, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. Yeah. So, you know, I went to the fridge and I opened up the meat drawer. You know what the meat drawer is, right?
Yeah. What was in there?
Well, I'll tell you what was in there. You know that bacon that's like maple? It's got maple flavor.
The maple kind, yeah.
Yes.
The maple kind, yeah.
I took that out and I thought,
Yeah.
I know who would like that. Me. So I ate it.
Oh, no.
So yeah,
You're kidding me.
you're kidding me. It's a classic, and every time I watch it,
I noticed there was some
I
beef
laugh.
in there.
You know, beef,
Steak.
like steak.
Don't you see? Well, I ate that too. But I went back to the fridge just a few minutes ago, and I put something together.
Hey, Margaret.
You're gonna love this one.
We're talking about things that make you smile no matter what mood you're in. Awesome. You know what? I forgot it was Wednesday. I kid you not, until a couple of hours ago. And I was just like, oh, I better put on some makeup. I gotta go live in a little while. There was a moment, for some reason, I was thinking it was Tuesday. And I was like, oh, it's Wednesday. Seriously, these live streams kind of like, they keep me going. Like when I have a rough week, like being able to talk to y'all and hang out with y'all, like, it's nice. It's nice to have you guys. Wonder if there's a list of activities to do on live streams. We can't play spin the bottle, like age difference might be a little weird. No. Let's see. The best, I don't want video games, $1 million, but no, I don't want to stream video games. I want to like play games, like activities. Somebody was telling me that I should do like Twitch streaming. Like I thought that was just video games. Oh boy, I've got to do something with his hair. Boy, look at that, all that brown. Yes, I'm glad you get to be here too. Oh, I don't know, did y'all see the picture Midnight Skull drew of me? Like I needed a cartoon version of me. Did I save it? Oh, I had to have saved it. There's no way I didn't. But yeah, Midnight Skull drew me, and it's like the cutest thing. Where is it? Amino. And Amino is like this cool little site. Like it's awesome. Like I'm so glad that I got to. Let's see. Oh, do you have to pay to join? That's a Bobo. I didn't know you had to pay. Boo. But yeah, Amino is really cool. Like, it's this huge community where people can, like, share their artwork, and people can share music. It never ceases to amaze me, like, the stuff that the internet opens up. Like, I wish that the internet had been this big when I was in high school. Like, we had the internet, but, like, for us, chat was a big deal. Being able to use, like, instant messenger was huge. Because, like, we had cell phones, but we didn't have smartphones, you know? And it wasn't, like, not everyone had a cell phone. Like, it wasn't a big deal if you didn't have one. Like, I remember my senior year of high school, I got a pager for my birthday. And, like, people were envious of that. Like, oh, that's cool. 304-8018. That was my pager number. I don't know why I remember that. I can't remember half of my old cell phone numbers, but I remember that pager number. IDK. But yeah, Midnight Skull drew an awesome. Instant Messenger was the shit. Did it better? Stupid internet. Why are you being moody? We don't have time for your foolishness tonight, internet. Okay. Cute animal stories or something like that. I want to do like a meme collection. So anytime y'all come across a meme that makes you laugh, send it to me. I'm gonna put it in like the end of the week collection. Oh, me too, John. And just being able to go online, like, I remember being so fascinated by Yahoo and how you could just put anything in and it. I figured you gotta get heading to work. Well, it's good to see you. Be safe heading to work, and we'll probably still be hanging out if everybody's down with. A huge Doors fan. I was obsessed with this old Angel Fire Jim Morrison site. And you remember how they'd always have like the little bitty, like, I guess they were like little early gifts, like the little really crappy quality things. Or how, like, it always seemed like the redneck girls would always have like glittery looking butterflies on their pages. Or like early MySpace. They have. Oh, that's funny that I come across this. Someone sent this to me the other day. It says, the 90s, many memories, no evidence. Like, so true. We did. No Twitter, no Instagram. That's what's crazy. Like, nowadays, like, you hear of like 12 and 13-year-old girls like sending nude pictures and stuff. Like, that wasn't on our radar then. Like, obviously we all had like little boyfriends and stuff. Yeah, they don't. They have no clue what it was like. I can't help but think, though, that it affects you socially, because nowadays, like, you can just text. You don't ever have to put yourself out there. You know, we would have to approach each other and say, no, I like you. Will you go with me? Or will you go out with me? Or, you know, whatever. And nowadays, like, all of that can be handled through text. And you're insulated a little bit from rejection. And everyone has to deal with protected. I was saying this the other day, well, actually just last night. Coincidentally, me and my brother were talking about it. how everyone in my family knew I was, and how I would have done anything to have had something like Spotify or YouTube when I was in high school, because all I did was listen to music. I wrote and I listened to music. That was all I did. And I swear, like, kids today, it kills me because you'll see kids like complaining, like these creators who work their butts off to put out really high quality content, and you'll see people say, well, your production sucks, your editing sucks. And I'm like, it's free content. You're not paying for anything. How are you going to complain? You know, when we were in school, we might have had 30 cable channels, but there was nothing on any of them. And if you wanted to get on the internet, we had dial-up. It wasn't super fast. Oh, my vape. Yeah, I vape. The flavor is called Ugly Butter. It tastes like a cinnamon sugar funnel cake. It's my jam. And my vape actually lights up. That is so much vape. I don't even need a fog machine if I want to make like an 80s music video. So, oh, I have someone I've never heard of tagged me in a post on Facebook. Does that ever happen to you? I don't ever use Facebook hardly anymore. Like, someone, I've noticed a few people ask me, like, when I put my social media links on my YouTube videos, they're like, well, what about Facebook? Can I follow you on there? And I'm like, I mean, yeah. The giant satellite dishes, yeah. Right? But I don't really ever get on Facebook anymore. I don't get the engagement that I used to, and oh, I forgot what I was going to ask y'all. Like, I had something in mind, and I don't remember what I was going to ask. But yeah, I'm lame. I'm boring. I've been getting friend requests from people I've never heard of before. That's weird. It is 11:14 p.m. here. What time is it where you are? So, if I did reviews of like music reviews, things like that, would that be interesting? Like, I'm trying to figure out what kind of content. Like, obviously there will always still be beauty videos, my Ipsy reviews, and different products that I want to try. But clearly my okay, you're an hour ahead of me, Margaret. That's cool. So you're on Eastern time. Well, actually, I guess technically you're a day ahead of me since it's after midnight. But yeah, I want to make the kind of content that y'all want to see. You're in Australia. Oh, wow. Oh, 12:14 p.m. I automatically assumed you were 1 hour ahead. Okay, nope, I'm stupid. I'm caught up now. I saw 12:14 and for some reason just automatically assumed it was 12:14 a.m. and so that you were like in New York or on Eastern time. Okay. So, about like so almost half a day give or take difference in time. That's cool. I've actually, there's a YouTuber that I follow from Australia named Gale Force. I don't know the proper pronouns to use here, and she is so sweet and so funny. Like, I know he's letting his hair grow out, and he hasn't transitioned, and so I always just call him girlfriend. Like, I don't ever say hey you, like it's just hey girl, hey girl. So I'll just say she. But I always have to, like, I had to hit the notification bell because I didn't want to miss any of her videos. Like, as blunt and to the point as I am, Gale Force. Okay, her last video, she was like, y'all, I think I had sex with a Nazi. Ah! This happened, and oops. I enjoy, I wish I could collaborate with her because we're both such loud mouths. What eye makeup, though? Nobody's eye makeup looks good in this, but I love when, I'm sorry, I love when people who suck at makeup are like, I'm just living for this look. And I'm like, oh, honey, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Now, granted, I'm not perfect at makeup, and I'm the first to admit it. This is not as neat and clean, like my chin is driving me nuts. I don't like putting highlight. And I actually don't really like to highlight my forehead that much, especially considering that people say I look trans as it is. That's something else. I'm thinking about doing roasting bad makeup. Yeah, like why this chick thought it would be cute to make one of her eyebrows a high heel shoe. Nope. Unacceptable. The rest of her makeup looks good. And like this chick, like how inflated do you need your lips to be? Like, that's just cartoonish. So yeah, I've been thinking about doing like a makeup roast. Just cause I think it'd be fun. I have a collection. Here we go. This chick. Yikes. Like, for starters, like, like for starters, you have to actually have transition shades. You can't just put blue and be done. She also needs to learn angles. Like, if you take a picture like this, you're not going to get all of it. You need to look down and up, because then the light hits the highlight. And I know this because apparently I look like a man, and I don't really know what I should do to, so she's a B-movie villain. Yeah, basically. And like the lipstick, look how dry that is. Like, even John, even as a guy, even as someone who does not wear makeup, you can look at that lipstick probably and tell that it looks dry, you know? Whereas mine is all one shade. It's not very even now that I look at it. But it's all one shade. Yeah. And you can do bright colored eyes. Like, that's incredible. Like, just how she put just the perfectly sized little, like, straight and clean and neat rainbow. Like, I just thought that was really cute. Blue can be done. Or like that. That's beautiful. Not a whole lot to it, really. Just simple, blended. Yeah, exactly. But I've got a whole collection of pictures that But I'm afraid of, I don't want to put those up and then have the actual people, hey sis, what's up? We're talking about my newest idea for a video. I've got to figure out a way to give them their privacy because I don't want the people I'm roasting to actually come for me. And I don't want it to be about attacking that person. I don't want to insult that person. I want to give them their privacy. Like, I've got to figure out how I can cover their eyes and give them their privacy, because all I want to do is call out certain things. Maybe I'll just be like, okay, now these lips or these eyes. Maybe I can do that. I don't know. But I don't want to call out anyone in particular. And my makeup is never perfect. I don't want to hurt anyone. Oh, by the way, that's the cartoon of me that Midnight Skull drew. Is that not the cutest thing ever? I'm obsessed with it. I needed a cartoon version of me, and Skull delivered. Okie dokie, Margaret. We'll be here. Have you been, Melanin Queen? What's new with you, baby? I had a whole collection of bad makeup. I don't know where it went. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Queen. Yeah, that's a good idea, John. Yeah. I think what I'll do, instead of showing an entire face, and like this chick, like, come on, sweetie. Come on now. Literally, like, look at that lip liner and lipstick. Come on now. You didn't even try. And then that bronzer is orange. And then you just put white all around your eyes. You look like a, kind of like if a corpse was a prostitute. But see, that's the thing. If you're not huge into makeup, no big deal. If you just rock eyeliner and mascara, awesome. That's probably all you need. If y'all saw me without makeup, you wouldn't recognize me. It's terrifying. But see, that's the thing. Some of these, like, I'll show my brother, like, okay, she looks like Red Scout. Oh my God. There's one girl, and I haven't roasted her because she goes out of her way in every post she posts to mention that she's in a wheelchair. And I'm going to sound like a real bitch when I say this, but y'all bear with me. I'm convinced that she does that because it's like her safeguard. If anyone says anything even slightly critical to her, she can say, oh, you're just hating on me. You're cruel because I'm in a wheelchair. Anyway, this makeup artist a while back did this look. And it was actually like based on money. It was a challenge. Can you do a look based on money? She found these sequins that looked like dimes, but they were itty bitty. And she put one in the corner of each eye. And then she did like this metallic silver shadow with big black eyelashes. It looked really cool. So this girl said, okay, well, I can do a look like that. And this is what she came up with. Like, that's not a look, honey. That's bathroom. And, you know, like my brother, of course, does not know anything about makeup. He knows whatever it is I've mentioned as I'm doing mine, which is next to nothing. I showed him that picture, and his exact words were, so what's wrong with her? Like, what is your thought process here? Like, the eyeshadow it's not bad. Why did you fucking glue pennies to your face? That deserves to be roasted. I don't care who you are. Of course, another makeup look. I don't know that makeup's her thing. And it's also in companies that sell lip gloss. It's a popular marketing tactic to show the model's lips and have the lip gloss to be dripping off the lip, like in like one big pretty drop. This is what that girl came up with. You see I wrote bitch, what the fuck? Like, it's supposed to look like one big drop dripping off of your lips. She looks like she slobbered all over herself. I'm like, sometimes I just wonder, like, okay, you see what your face looks like, and you see what these other girls' faces look like. Do you see a difference here? Right? The take a penny, leave a penny tray, right? Now, I'm all for experimentation, and I've posted some looks that aren't that great, and I openly admit that. You know, I've posted, like I did a rainbow look just a few days ago that was uneven. It wasn't, I've done plenty of looks that weren't great. But I'm not going to glue friggin' pennies to my face. I'm not going to slobber all over myself for the cause of a lip gloss. I don't. To the MUA Roast album. This has to happen. I just have to figure out what there. Since I've been hateful, there's a picture of me and my cat Luke Perry, who passed away in 2013. My son, I miss him every day. He was the bestest cat there ever was. Or like this chick. She posted this with the caption, "A little natural makeup." It looks like if she moves her face, it would crack. Yep, I think roasting makeup is going to be fun. Oh, God, Margaret. I am so sorry. That is... Oh. Hibiki! What's up, sweetheart? Thank you for hanging out. Coming up with ideas for future videos, makeup roasts. Okay, so if any of y'all ever come across really badly done makeup, screenshot it and shoot it to me at my Instagram or my Twitter, because I think I think we could have fun with this makeup roast thing. How have you been? I think so. Do you have the same name on Twitter? We'll find out right now. Yes, I did. Seth Rollins. Yes, I actually started a response to you, and then my dog needed to go poop. Yes, I hope they keep the title on Rollins, only because I want them to move Miz up to the main event scene. Although, if they put it on Finn, I wouldn't be brokenhearted over it, because I do love him too. But Seth Rollins is your boy, yeah? That's a good-looking guy. Did you ever see when his dick pics leaked? He looks mighty fine. Ooh, yeah, Gable versus Balor would be a great match. Oh my gosh. Dizzy Drug. That's alright. We're not... this isn't exclusively makeup. That was just one idea for a video. We talk about everything around here. I would love to see, yes, Gable and Balor for a title would be great. What do y'all think about a women's tag team division? Like, I feel like there's possibility there. Yes, Balor versus Bryan would just be an absolute friggin' classic. God, I'm just so excited. I would love to come on your podcast. I would be honored. I've been wanting to get into podcasting, but I don't know how, and I don't know what I would cover. But yeah, God, I would love to. Anytime. Anytime you need someone, you just holler at me. I will be there. Styles Rollins too, that would be fantastic too. It really would. There's so many possibilities. Yeah. Well, see, the thing is with the cruiserweights, I feel like it could still be done right. Way back in the day, well, I say way back in the day, it was like 10 years ago when they had the cruiserweight division and Shane Helms was no longer playing the Hurricane character and he was playing the Gregory Helms character. They had a cruiserweight division, but it was exclusive to SmackDown. I feel like, what if they did like a cruiserweight division exclusive to SmackDown, excuse me, and then maybe had like a women's tag division exclusive to Raw? That would just mean that whoever held the women's tag, they could or would show up on one show or the other. Yeah, women's. Oh, well, see, the WCW cruiserweights back in the day, in retrospect, we see that they were actually putting on the best matches. Like, no matches compared to the undercard at a WCW event. But at that time, not everyone realized that. That's true. That's true. I don't know that the women's division is deep enough that there's enough that you could have a tag division on SmackDown and a tag division on Raw. They really had to stretch just to fill the 30-woman Rumble. Not terribly, but it was a stretch, you know. And I know they wanted to give veterans a chance to shine. I don't know what to think about Ronda Rousey. Like, after watching her at Mania, because I don't like her personally. I've always found her to be really obnoxious and really selfish and really arrogant. Really full of herself. And hearing that she has her own private dressing room backstage. She doesn't hang out with the other girls. She doesn't reach out. She has her own private makeup people. She's not endearing herself to anybody. And she looked great in the ring at Mania, but the match was also set up to make her look great. Everyone sold and worked for her in that match. But she's incredibly fluid, she's incredibly athletic, she's very, very gifted, very fluid, very good. But she's never going to have good matches, and she's never going to develop any real chemistry with anybody if she continues to place herself on a pedestal above the rest of the women. Let's see. Yeah, I love La Parka too, but I do get what you're saying. Yeah, I think, yeah. Well, you know, at the time, I was never a hardcore WCW fan myself. I watched it, but honestly, even during, like, its hottest stretch when the NWO was huge, I remember saying, but it's just a bunch of old guys. You know? It's just has-beens. You know, like, that's great and all, but WCW is just repackaging old guys. I was still, even though WWE was struggling in 95, 96, and even early 97, I would still. All right, sweetie, please do. Shoot me a tweet whenever. Have a good night. Thank you for hanging out. But it just, yeah. There's so much room. They have 5 hours a week of brand new content they can put out. And it feels like every week we see the same show. And I've said it a million times. The reason that storylines haven't felt compelling in years is because they're not. It's because they're not being written by wrestling people. But yeah, during WCW's heyday, I even enjoyed like mid-90s WCW when Flying Brian and the Natural Dustin Rhodes and Rick Rude and Stunning Steve Austin, the Hollywood Blondes, like, that was a great time for WCW. They just, if we could like put a money sign on, or a dollar amount on the amount of wasted potential from both companies, I think it would be in the billions. Like, think how many companies have blown opportunities. You know, Sean O'Hare in WWF should have been a friggin' star. The whole Devil's Advocate character. Then they put him with Roddy Piper and the whole thing went over like a fart in church. Because fans don't want to see the same regurgitated old people. Yeah, you'll get a Legends pop. But WWE is leaning so hard on this nostalgia stuff nowadays that it's just exhausting. Back in the day, it's like no one learns from each other's mistakes either. Because WCW tied all their horses. Yeah, like, it's like WWE is too arrogant. Steve Austin in particular have said it a million times. Like, it was trying to run a college football team with high school coaches. They didn't know what they were doing. I'm glad you came to hang out, Drex. I'm always happy to have more faces on the stream. What kills me is a lot of things killed WCW. Have any of y'all ever read the book The Death of WCW? It's really, really good. But Wrestling at the Chase. Wrestling at the Chase. Was that AWA? Greed, yes. Greed. Greed and arrogance, yes. I mean, think about what the Alliance storyline in WWE, the Invasion storyline, could have been. And instead, they turned it into a McMahon versus McMahon versus McMahon storyline. Why in the hell was Stephanie McMahon the leader of ECW when Paul Heyman was working for WWE? That's just the McMahon arrogance, you know? And the fact that their arrogance shines through every week with their refusal to let Roman Reigns go. Oh, you're gonna like him. And I don't mean let him go, but just let go of this desperate need to make him the guy. The fans aren't buying it. They're not buying it. And I mean, yeah, I feel like I feel like if they do away with the brand split because they've pulled up so many people from NXT, I'm afraid that there's going to be way too many people sitting in catering and never getting to do anything. And like, think about, like, what does Zack Ryder do every week? When's the last time he was on TV? Does he get on TV anymore? You know, R-Truth. Been with the company 15 years and he's worked like 3 televised matches in the last 8 years. You know, and I don't want to see people who are in the prime of their career and sitting on the sidelines when they could be getting television time. What needs to happen, once again, it all falls back on that McMahon arrogance. because they're so desperate for any little crumb in it. No one involved in wrestling is on their creative team. It's all people from Hollywood, people who couldn't make it as screenwriters, people who washed out from writing television series. None of them are wrestling minds. They don't know how to write wrestling storylines. That's why stuff feels either rushed, or they'll start something and roll with it and then it just disappears. There's no continuity. And I can remember being really into storylines as a kid, and nowadays, like, my interest in the matches has absolutely nothing to do with any storyline. It's just who I enjoy seeing wrestle. And I miss being able to get into storylines and being like, no, I really want to see so and so get his revenge on so and so. Yes, I am glad that women are being more mainstream now, and I'm glad that women aren't just looked at as the piss break match. Of course, what's really sad is if you ever go to like WWE's Facebook page, or if you look in the comment sections of any of the WWE videos, there's always those stupid little Virgin Mark boys who say stuff like, women just need to look sexy and shut up. I don't give a fuck about their wrestling. I just care about their tits. And you want to tell those guys, you realize just by saying stuff like that, you're giving away that you're a total 13-year-old virgin boy. But, man. Yeah, well, I think Candice LeRae actually signed with WWE. There are some really great female, Lufisto, Mercedes Martinez, Santana Garrett, Jessica Havoc. There was a girl named Madison Eagles a few years ago. I don't know if she's still big in everything now. Portia Matthews, or Portia something, and Nicole Matthews were a tag team in Shimmer. They're great. But there was a woman named Madison Eagles who was like, she was just a beast, and she was so entertaining to watch. Yeah, Vince Russo is definitely responsible for a lot, if not all, of... Nice. Jinx. But yeah, Vince Russo is definitely to blame for the over-sexualizing of women, and just the vapid, useless eye candy he made all of them into. The only time women took part in a Vince Russo storyline, they were pregnant and no one knew who the father was, or it was like they were cheating on some guy with another guy, or they were wrestling in Jello. You know, it was clear to see that Vince Russo does not have a lot of respect for women in seeing how he wrote for them. Oh, you know Madison, John? Like, well, let her know she has a huge fan in Mobile, Alabama. That matters to her. I've heard that, yeah. Didn't they fire, was it Rosa Mendez? They messed with her about being pregnant. And I want to say they fired Awesome Kong when she got pregnant. That's true. Yes, Vince Russo and Kevin Dunn. That Bucky Beaver motherfucker. I think Jim Cornette would probably be thrilled to know that the vast majority of the internet wrestling community will all forever call Kevin Dunn that Bucky Beaver motherfucker. Dawn Marie, that's the other one I couldn't think of, because I knew Awesome Kong, and I knew there was Rosa Mendez. There was an issue with her getting pregnant, and I want to say one of the ones, she wasn't ever going to amount to anything, like Crystal Marshall or Joy Giovanni, like one of those skanks from the Diva Search era. You know, to be fair, in addition to Vince Russo, John Laurinaitis is to blame for a lot of the issues that the women's division is still trying to raise above, because they got rid of Russo, and you had wrestlers like Michelle McCool who could kind of hang. And for years, you had Natty Neidhart and you had Beth Phoenix. You had legitimate women workers. But you had John Laurinaitis, who just wanted bikini models to fill up his roster. That's how you got stuck with, like, Kelly Kelly. And I think the only thing Kelly Kelly contributed to the locker room was herpes. You know? There were several just useless, like, what was her name? Ashley Massaro. Christy Hemme. Just all of these vapid, mindless skanks. And I know somewhere Tumblr is having a heart attack. Oh my God, stop slut-shaming. You know what? Sometimes the behavior is shameful and you should feel ashamed of it. But, yeah. Dawn Marie, the storyline they put her in, the whole thing with Tori Wilson's dad, and oh God. Yeah, I feel like Christy Hemme, once she got to TNA and was actually able to work, she improved. Really? Kelly Kelly was trained by Tommy Dreamer. Did he not teach her how to run the ropes? Because she still can't do that. All I've ever seen her do is she'll run to the rope and go, gingerly touch it. I think Kelly Kelly was the girlfriend of a lot of people. Like, I literally was just listening to a shoot interview where Randy Orton was just like, yeah, she slept with everybody. I think that's how she kept her job. Ashley Massaro gave, yeah, I can believe that. She was just as useless. Like, I can't believe Tommy Dreamer trained Kelly. I wouldn't even claim that. Like, I wouldn't even claim her. Because she came back for the Royal Rumble. And I'm like, just get out with your stupid fuzzy boots. Like, you know, like, I get why men like her. Because she has a really, really pretty face. But, I mean, God, so do a lot of girls. Yeah, Rebby Hardy's a nut job. Oh, my God. Like, I'm glad that Matt Hardy has moved on from Lita, finally, and is happy. And they have adorable kids. But Rebby is... she strikes me as wanting to be like Chrissy Teigen. How Chrissy Teigen, like, goes off on Twitter and is really funny and sassy. I feel like that's how Rebby Sky sees herself. I think she thinks that she's this sassy, sexy... she just comes across as batshit crazy. Maria? Yeah, I was going to say, Maria ran through quite a few, like... but Maria has redeemed herself. Like, in Ring of Honor and TNA, her and Mike Bennett made a great team. I think calling him Mike Kanellis... see, again... McMahon ego. Why would you do that? If only because you're trying to demean and devalue someone. You're trying to be condescending. His name is Mike Bennett. Let him wrestle by Mike Bennett, you know? Oh, Tori Wilson. Jesus. She was just another one that had big fake boobs and blonde hair. Like, honestly, you can... that John Laurinaitis post-WCW era... like, if you want to describe the women's division, just say, really, really skinny, big fake boobs, bleach blonde hair. And that pretty much knocks out the whole division. You know? Tori Wilson, her hair always looked dirty because it was so overly processed. It always just hung in strings. And her ring gear never fit properly. Those weird thigh-high boot things. Well, I mean, it's true, though. Like, people... WWE has brainwashed so many people for so long into thinking that they're the only game in town, and so they're the best thing. And they're not necessarily. And I think that's what was hearing Glory Pro yelling at women that walk past. Delightful. See, that's kind of exactly what I figured she was. Like, someone needs to sit Rebby down and tell her, don't nobody want your man. I mean... I'd roll around with Jeff Hardy, but I mean, Matt Hardy can hold my bra while I play with Jeff, but I ain't trying to mess with Matt Hardy. Is anybody? I can believe that about Major Guns. I feel like she was probably a cam model before WCW. Right? Dragged from the back of a truck through water. That's dead on. I was just watching a shoot with Sunny. She was bragging about hooking up with Dolph Ziggler. Okay. Side note. Has anyone noticed that Dolph Ziggler really has a thing for chubby blondes? Okay. With the exception of Nikki Bella, who, mark my words, will now be running through the men like Montezuma's Revenge until she finds herself another Mr. Moneybags to hitch onto. Wait for it. Mark my words, it will happen. Okay, Dolph Ziggler has hooked up with Dana Brooke. Big old blonde girl. No hate, she's just a big girl. Big, huge blonde. Boobs, yep. Who else did he... There was another big boobied blonde that he was hooking up with. Oh, Amy Schumer. He hooked up with Amy Schumer. Sunny. And I swear there was another one. There was another, like, heavy-set, big boobied blonde. Like, that is clearly Dolph Ziggler's fetish. Yeah, I can imagine anybody... Oh, dude, Dana Brooke is still, like, I'm pretty sure she's a legitimate bodybuilder still. There's actually a company that I am an ambassador for called Macy and Mia Cosmetics. She's actually collaborating with them on some stuff. Really, really sweet girl. And I'm glad that she's got, like, on-screen time. But from when she was, like, the protege of... Horseface, Charlotte. She obviously is comfortable on camera and she's obviously comfortable talking. I feel like they need to give her a character where she can just run her mouth because she's good at it. She could play a crazy chick really well because she's obviously not, but she's obviously really comfortable with that, and they've got her in this little suit and everything, and that don't suit her. She's not skanky, but she just doesn't strike me as the type who wants to wear, like, business suits and stuff. Like, she strikes me as being a little more laid back. I feel like they should build a character more on that. So let's scroll back to where John Ferropoulos said, I've never said this out loud, but I got hit on by Sunny. Please don't use Montezuma's Revenge and Nikki Bella in the same sentence. Sorry. John, let's share your story about Sunny. How'd that go? Also, has anyone seen Sunny's porn? Has anyone seen it? Because I'm thinking about doing a review of it on this channel. Let me know. When Edge was married the first time, he was... Oh, yeah. That is a very astute observation, Dregs. And I think part of it also is just they're so overworked that all they have are each other, you know? And you're just driving. All the hotel rooms start to look the same. I hooked up with a WWE wrestler 12 years ago, and we talked about it. And yes, you know, you drive. You have to be at the arena early, and whatever. Oh, God, her porn. Okay, I'm not going to show all of it to you, but there are some gems in that. So I'm going to review that for this channel. Oh, and it was on my friend. She found out he was gay, and she's... Oh. Whew. Interesting. So you didn't sleep with Sunny, John? I mean, I know she's not, like, banging now, but I feel like that's the only reason Dolph Ziggler hit it was because it was like one of those, dude, she used to be the fantasy kind of things. Part of me, you didn't have sunny days, no? Okay. Part of me feels sorry for Sunny to a degree because she was in the business before there were ever even women You know, back when Sunny came to the business, the women talent, they didn't have makeup artists, they didn't have stylists, they didn't have anyone for them backstage. They were so outnumbered, and this is the overlap of like the territorial days where all they did was get drunk and hook up. And so she was like 21, small town, probably not super bright, but she had a gift for entertaining. Um, I remember like watching a thing on Raw. She was having an arm wrestling match with Marlena. And I forget, I think it was, I don't remember, maybe somebody was hosting it in the ring and like, okay, you know, I've got Marlena and I've got Sunny. And just body language and movements. Sunny had the crowd like right here in the palm of her hand, and Marlena did not. Sunny was so good at just getting the crowd to look at her and to feed off her that by the end of that segment, she'd only have to move just a little bit and the crowd was on her. Like, it was little things, like they'd start to arm wrestle and like Marlena was just standing there. And Terry Runnels was stunning. I've always thought she was beautiful and she looked like $1,000,000. But that, if she has a lot of personality, it wasn't coming out. Whereas Sunny was very animated and like, okay. And then she'd put her arm down the table and then she'd pull it back and then she'd put it in. And then when they started arm wrestling, like Terry just leaned in, whereas Sunny slowly was like rocking back and forth on her feet. And it got more, and then finally just freaked out. And it was just those little body movements. Everyone in the crowd had all eyes on her. She had the crowd right where she wanted them. Oh God, the cat, really? Oh, Drug, I'm with you. China should have been in. You know what really makes me sick is the fact that now that China is deceased, the first person to use her name for goodwill is friggin' Stephanie McMahon. You know? During the mixed match challenge, she called a little bit of commentary with Beth Phoenix and the guys, and they were talking about women who have paved the way, and Stephanie said, well, you can't forget China. Bitch, you're part of the reason she ended up the way she is, and you want to use her name for goodwill now? Like, that's the kind of shit Stephanie McMahon does. It's just, once again, McMahon ego. It knows no bounds. It just astonishes me. That, like, Stephanie, you were fucking her man. And when she found out you were fucking her man, you saw to it that she didn't get another contract and that she got pushed out of the industry. She reached out to WWE more times than any of us will ever know in between the mid-2000s and her death, and was blacklisted every time. And porn is the excuse you want to give? Like, Triple H is like the most... I will never have respect for Triple H as a man. Like, he's great as far as what he's done for NXT and mending fences with like Bruno Sammartino and Vince. He's a savvy politician and he's a savvy businessman. But as a man, his gonads have been in Stephanie McMahon's back pocket for 15 years. And naked holding a shotgun. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, I've never held porn against China. Ever. Do you know the name Joni Laurer? I was like, yeah, that's China. Oh my God. She's like, yeah, she's my neighbor. And she said, you know, I expected her to be like this loud and in your face. And she said, you know, same thing everyone who's ever met China said, was that she was super soft-spoken and very well-mannered and very sweet. And my friend Jessie, they used to have like barbecues and stuff. And she said we'd always invite her over. She'd always come by and have dinner and chit-chat with people. And she said I could tell she was depressed. It wasn't something that she wasn't obvious, like mopey. But like Jessie said, you know, Joni would come and hang out, and some nights she'd just come over to the house and they'd play video games or something like that, or they'd come over and like Jessie was like, has always been big into like real healthy eating, and like making homemade teas and herbal stuff. And so she made Joni her own like herbal tea. And Joni came over and tried it and really, really liked it. And so she'd come over a couple of times a month. And I remember Jessie saying, and I showed her how I mixed it up. And she said Joni picked it up and was really good at it and would make suggestions like, hey, what if we added such and such? Or, hey, have you ever tasted such and such? Could we add that to it? And she said they had a great time together doing that. And that Joni was just the most normal, sweet girl. And that then there would be weeks where you don't see her at all. She said the lights would always be off in her condo, and she said I just knew that she was going through it. And that's so heartbreaking, you know, when you just, that's what she said when she died. Like, she said, I just felt so helpless. And no, I don't hold her porn against her. I was a stripper. I don't give a shit about that. And besides, have you ever seen the She-Hulk porn? Like, it's funny. Like, it's well done. And yeah, Triple H, like I said, like, he's done a lot for the business. But he is such an ass-kissing, fake, phony. He doesn't even tell the truth about how he originally met China. Like, he tries to whitewash his career story as though China wasn't his girlfriend. It's true. You never know what people are going through. Oh, God. Andre the Giant. Margaret, you know, HBO just did a really cool biography pick on Andre the Giant. That's supposedly really, really good. I want to see that. I don't have HBO Go. I need to. Well, let me go back. I want to make sure. Yeah, he did ruin Test Big Push. And for what reason? Like, Triple H has just always struck me as being so friggin' insecure. You know, like, everyone talks about how he hated The Rock because The Rock blew up. And he and Shawn Michaels badmouthed The Rock to anyone who would listen. And had it been up to them, The Rock wouldn't have ever made it. You know? But yeah, they were just promoting it on WWE programming not that long ago. But yeah, HBO did like a really, really extensive, lengthy biography on Andre the Giant. It looks really good. Yes, Triple H always needed a team or stable. When it wasn't Shawn and Chyna and Rick Rude, it was Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, X-Pac. Sean Waltman seems like a really nice guy. He actually follows me on Instagram. And his dog follows me on Instagram. Lula. Sean Waltman's dog follows me. That's how I know I've made it. Yeah, Liesel, that's actually one of the things about pro wrestling that fascinates me so much, is not just the in-ring stuff, and that is entertaining because it's just meant to be ridiculous, but just the mix of humanity in it and how people from different backgrounds work and how much politic there is behind the scenes and who hooks up with who, and it's fascinating. Druck, thank you for swinging by. Every Wednesday and Saturday night we do these about 10:30ish Central Time. So yeah, anytime you can swing by, do come by and hang out. It was awesome having you here. Have a good night, darling. But yeah, I've always just been fascinated by, like, I've read several of the wrestling biographies, like my all-time favorite, Bret Hart. His biography is great because he covers his whole childhood through like 2006, 2008-ish. And what I like about Bret's book is, along with what's going on in wrestling at the time, he also constantly runs like an underlying B story of what's going on in the world. Like, that was something that was always important to Bret. Like, a lot of people in wrestling get stuck in that bubble of only knowing what's going on in their business. and it was always important to Brett to have that foot of me. Yeah, Brett was just always real. And a lot of people like to say, oh, he's so bitter. And I don't feel like Brett is bitter. I don't think that he feels a need to sugarcoat anything. I don't agree with everything he says, and I don't agree with all of his assessments on everything. But hell, even if he is a little bitter, he has every right to be. You know, the Montreal screw job, then he went to WCW where green as fucking grass Goldberg kicks him to the point that literally the doctor said the back of his brain looked like hamburger meat. He was concussed so badly. Has the stroke, and then in that time, his baby brother gets killed in a completely avoidable, unnecessary accident. So I feel like if Brett wants to be a little bitter, he has every right to be. Yeah, and I love Brett, and I'm glad that he was able to kind of make his peace. I still don't really respect Shawn Michaels, like the Brett and Shawn Rivalries DVD. Of course, I bought that as soon as it came out. Did he, Dregs? I tried to keep up with that, and I knew Sting had like his own crew that saw to it that he repelled safely, and I wasn't sure he did quit doing that after that. That's cool. Sting's such a good dude, man. Such a great guy. That's another one who deserved better out of WWE. His one and only WrestleMania match, and they fucking bury him. You know? McMahon ego. There it is again. The ego of the McMahons knows no bounds. Yeah. The show the day after. Oh, God, I can't even imagine. Didn't Mark Henry, during his Hall of Fame speech, say something about that? Like, Martha, let Owen be in the Hall of Fame. Let his fans have this. I don't know if Vince McMahon knew he was going to say that. But everyone agrees. Everybody wants to see Owen in the Hall of Fame. Man, he deserves it. It's true. There's constantly a lengthy injured list in WWE. And there's a way around it. I mean, honestly, everyone knows it's a work. You know, no one believes the storylines are real anymore. Say they work 90 days and take 30 straight days off. The next time they might come back, only work a month and then take a week off. Like, it can be planned and written. The fact that WWE still makes their wrestlers sign as independent contractors, they have to pay for their own health insurance. They pay for their own rental cars, their own hotel rooms. Like, the treatment that WWE still in 2018 gives their hard-working competitors, it's just staggering how bad it is. And yeah, I mean, New Japan is really making a run at WWE's legitimacy, especially when you've got people like the Young Bucks who have never set foot in a WWE ring and are pretty open about having no desire to. And you've got people like Cody Rhodes who walked away. He was pretty much guaranteed another contract, and he walked away by choice and has completely reinvented himself. You know, and then look at people like Drew McIntyre, who WWE completely misused as the chosen one and blah, 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 then put him in 3-man band. He went out and showed them, yeah, I'm worth your money. I mean, he came back, but still. Oh, cool. Same birthday as one of the Young Bucks. That's crazy. Exactly. WWE only wants to profit off of them. And I mean, that's as much money as that company makes. They make obscene amounts of money. Even with the network cutting into pay-per-view revenue, there's absolutely no way that they can't afford to work on some kind of health care. And like Bret Hart talking about needing knee surgery, you then put your name on a list and wait to get surgery that you need. Like, that's ridiculous. Drugs, yeah, I have read that Shane wanted to take control of ECW. Shane, apparently, back when UFC first started blowing up, Shane wanted to buy that. And Vince McMahon ego was like, nobody cares about UFC. WWE is the real deal, the big game. And UFC for a couple of years was huge, but it definitely feels like it has fallen off somewhat. I know there are diehard UFC fans out there. Oh yeah. Oh, Shane. The fact that they don't listen to Shane, once again, McMahon ego. And he doesn't have the ego that Vince has. And it's clear as day that Stephanie does. Stephanie has that self-important, entitled ego. Oh, of course, the global NXT map. Yep. The ego. It's just unreal. Like, quit trying to run your competition out of town. Like, the best WWE ever was when they had competition. And trying to tear down other companies, that doesn't help anyone. The wrestlers lose out because there's nowhere else they can go. And the fans lose out because we see what kind of entertainment WWE puts on when they don't have competition, and it's embarrassing. Do I think McMahon has given Bret his due respect? No, I don't. I don't think. Well, have really sat and had the heart to heart with Bret. So I won't throw McMahon under the bus for this. Now, Shawn Michaels? No. I think he's just as much a snake now as he was when he was all pilled out. He just hides behind that I'm a Christian facade. In the Rivalries DVD with Shawn and Bret, every single time Bret would say, yeah, we were in this city, it was this show, and you said this. And Shawn would always say, oh, I don't remember. Oh, I don't remember. Oh, well, if you said I did it, then I did it. Well, I don't remember. But then, when talking about the episode of Raw where Shawn came out in the khaki shorts with no shirt and did the backflip off the top rope, and he was just like, oh yeah, that was May so-and-so, so-and-so, and we were in Terre Haute, Indiana. I remember that night. Like, wait a minute. So you remember this night that you went out and showed your ass in the ring, cutting backflips and acting like a donkey, but you don't seem to remember any of these numerous conversations that Bret has reminded you of? Numerous conversations where Taker was present, Davey Boy was present, Owen was present, Neidhart was present. Interesting. Shane Helms is incredible. I'm a huge Hurricane fan. I love Shane Helms to pieces. He's one of my all-time favorites for sure. He's one of the ones who's really taken Shawn Michaels to task and said, no, he's not a changed man. He's just as big a piece of shit as he always was. But of course, Shawn Michaels always just says, well, you know, the Hurricane, who cares what he thinks? Yeah, the treatment of black wrestlers in WWE is pretty scary. Like, The Rock was able to inch around it because he's part black. But, is Shane working with 205 Live? Huh. Yep, Shane Helms. When I talk about people talking shit about HBK, Shane Helms is actually who came to mind. Yeah, I mean, yeah, The Rock doesn't really acknowledge he's black. He's always Samoan, Samoan, Samoan. Yep. I'm trying to think other than, well, we've got Titus, World Slide. Ron Simmons, who, if you think about it, when Ron Simmons first came to WWE and they were calling him Farouk Assad, and they had that friggin' Nerf looking helmet. And yeah, Titus is incredibly likable. You can just tell he's a good dude. He's huge. And I mean, there's a lot you can do with that. The fans love Titus. He has a good sense of humor. But Vince just shits all over him. Like, it's ridiculous. Butch Reed, yeah. Butch Reed just got run over. Used and cast aside. That's true. Hell, I'm trying to think of other blacks in WWE. R-Truth, Apollo Crews, Shelton Benjamin. Darren Young is gone. Yeah, they finally... Again, open ticket to have someone who could speak to LGBT youth. You have, in addition to the Be a Star, you have Darren Young, who could be a real asset to the company as far as being an ally for LGBT, but they just let that go. Just so many missed opportunity. Titus was a Vince guy until the incident. Okay, that's the Daniel Bryan retirement thing. Well, it just goes to show how over he is, because the fans really spoke up for him. Like, really. And that's true. Killshot can move. I need to watch more Lucha. Orlando Jordan. Back in the day. I never warmed up to him. And then TNA just pushed the bisexual thing way too far. The NXT guys too? Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, Orlando, like, he seemed like fundamentally like he was a good wrestler. And I just don't know if he just couldn't get the right gimmick in WWE. And then he just went so far the other way in TNA that it was... I don't know. I'm bisexual, so of course that doesn't offend me. But they went way too far. Yeah, I've said that about Velveteen Dream myself. And Apollo Crews, he was Uhaa Nation on the Indies, right? That's who that guy is. Big, massive guy who can fly. And he just has the most boring, like, he has no character. He has no gimmick. He's just big black dude. It's ridiculous. Yeah, TNA, especially, like, I don't know how they are now because I don't watch it. I don't have access to it. But I know, like, 05, 06, 07, they were so tied in with indies. And this is one difference in TNA that I noticed from the very first time I watched it, like back in like 05, when it was like Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Alex Shelley and Duvall and Low Key, all those guys. You know what I'm talking about. The X Division guys. You could tell that, yeah, the difference was, and Shawn Michaels mentions this in his book, how when you're in WWE, they train you and drill it in your head to sell for the TV crowd. You want to sell and perform for the cameras. Whereas in TNA, all of those guys were indie guys, and so they selling for the crowd. And I always thought that was so much more enjoyable to watch because it looked like somewhere you wanted to be. Like it looked fun, you know? And because the guys in TNA were allowed to kind of be themselves and react and speak without their words all being written for them, it had a much more organic feel. And the guys who got over because they had a genuine connection with the crowd, right? Like they do in NXT. I can remember Alex Shelley had that one move he would do where like he'd cross his legs and put his knees like on the back of a guy's head, and it looked like he was smacking the guy's head into the ring, and the crowd would always yell, "That's so gay, that's so gay," or something like that. And Shelley would always just go to the crowd, and just that little acknowledgement, you know, the crowd wants to react. And because there's that organic feeling of getting over. Yeah, like it was just hilarious, just little things like that. And there was a connection with the crowd. Of course, WWE fans, it almost feels like WWE fans have that McMahon ego just like by proxy, because they're the ones that like, they want to still chant for CM Punk, you know? It's stupid. James Storm was great. So much good talent in TNA. God, that like 2004 when they were doing those weekly pay-per-views. Shane Douglas as an interviewer was phenomenal. You know, you need wrestling minds around you. And like, I forget who said it, but somebody said it last night that WWE really needs to start running shows and doing pay-per-views in other cities. They were in Canada these last few days, and the crowd was just hot for everything they did, cheering for everything, reacting to everything. And somebody tweeted out, "See, WWE, you need to start doing more pay-per-views in like Montreal or Toronto or Calgary or Edmonton, like Canadian cities, other cities besides Boston, Chicago, Philadelphia," because those people are ungrateful. They get like 5 WWE shows a year, and those are the same assholes that either sit on their hands or chant for stupid shit during the main event. They're the ones who'll chant CM Punk. Like, Punk's gone and he's never coming back. St. Louis is a great crowd, man. The home of Harley Race, the home of NWA. I hate that the NWA title doesn't mean anything anymore. I wish that somehow it could be elevated to its former glory, because God, what a great title it was. I was gonna say, like, you can't mock TNA for using plants because WWE has always used them. Harley Race trained you, John? That's amazing. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's incredible. He strikes me as someone who is really, really nice, but you wouldn't guess it, like, from the outset. Like, he comes across as appearing very gruff, but if he likes you, and you're cool. Or at least that's the vibe I get from Harley Race. Oh, my lips are chapped. Boo. That's awesome. God, I've never gotten to go to a live WWE show. I'd love to. I've heard that too, Dregs. Yeah, somebody posted a picture of that on Squared Circle on Reddit. Yeah, see, he's old school. Yeah. Like, I imagine, yeah, he does take the business seriously. Like, he's one of those, like, I got into wrestling. he was already on his way out. He was still in WWE when I first got into wrestling, but they had saddled him with that corny, like, King Harley Race gimmick, and he was on his way. He was winding down in WWE, and I didn't see him again until he was Vader's manager. Oh yeah, he actually even told Daniel Bryan, stop using the flying headbutt. I wish I'd never created that move. It has caused me more trouble in my life than any other move I ever did. You trained with Kenny Omega? That's crazy. Well, guys, I've really enjoyed this. As always, I love doing these, but my light is flickering. It's probably about to die, and I've got to get up in the morning. So, yes, you're right. The headbutt has caused more issues for people. Think about Chris Benoit. Think about Daniel Bryan. Think about Tom Billington, the Dynamite Kid. He's in a wheelchair, and I know it's not exclusively for that, but it certainly contributed, right? I would think so. I'd go as far as to say that it contributes, like, maybe not directly concussing them, but it certainly could add to other head injuries. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, if ever there's something wrestling wise you guys want me to cover in a video, let me know. Yeah, I try to separate Benoit from what he did. I do. And Jericho actually put a video out recently. Well, it was when he was working in Japan. It was actually the night of his match with Kenny Omega. And someone asked him about Benoit, and he said, look, I'm only going to say this once. He was my friend. That is that. And I commented something like, I can't imagine what it would be like to have spent like 25 years running up and down the roads with this guy, basically like living in hotel rooms with this guy, you know, because they were all in the same little clique in WCW, and then again, you know, they reconnected in WWE, and it was just, and yeah, his brain was like an 80-year-old man's, and it just, and when I tried to say that, like, no one is excusing what he did. What he did was unthinkable, unspeakable. It was an act of pure evil. But you can't just say, oh, fuck him and everything we ever knew. You know, like my mom used to always say to me, even if you killed someone, I would still love you. And when you have, that's unconditional love. That's true friendship. You can love a person, but still be diametrically opposed to the things that they do. You can love a person, but be opposed to the choices they make. And I do feel bad for Chavo, because have you guys read the Jericho books? Like the Lion's Tail, Undisputed, all of them, you know the ones I'm talking about. There's a series of pictures, and in a Lion's Tail, it was a picture of Jericho, Malenko, Benoit. Who was the fourth one? Jericho, Malenko, Benoit, Eddie, and Brian Hildebrand, the referee from WCW that they were all really, really close to. Well, the second book, it was just the four of them. Brian Hildebrand had passed. In the third book, it was just Chris and Malenko. And that's what he mentioned. He said, you know. Oh, Brian Hildebrand, he was a referee in WCW who was really, really tight with Benoit, Guerrero, Jericho, that little clique. But yeah, he had developed cancer like in the early 90s, I believe. I want to say he passed in like 98 or 99. Didn't Vince try to kill himself at the same time Chris did? He sure did. Yeah, their own. Yeah, he kind of was because I think he did. He reffed pretty much all of the cruiserweight matches. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, guys, my dog has got to be walked, and I've got some stuff to do. I'm gonna get this makeup off. Thank you guys for hanging out. I have really, really enjoyed this. I love you guys. Saturday night, if y'all don't have any plans, I'm a homebody, so Saturday night, see y'all here. 10:30ish Central Time. I didn't know he helped discover them. Was he there with Yes, follow me on Twitter. And yes, I will see all of y'all Saturday night. I love you guys. Thank y'all for hanging out. See you Saturday.